You are now watching the best show in the universe. It is called The Anthony Rogers Show. You probably wish that this was your show. But it is not your show. It is The Anthony Rogers Show. Tell everyone you know to watch this show. Enjoy.
Welcome back to the greatest show in the universe. Today we have a huge porn star, Alana Evans. How you doing?
I'm amazing. How are you today?
Good. Thanks for doing this terrible show like that. You're really stepping down to do this show.
I don't think of it as a step down. Everyone has their own audiences. You have a good Twitter following. I like that you and I have two kind of different stances on things at times. So I figured, fuck it, it'll be fun.
That's true. Yeah, you're a Democrat, I guess. Then you're saying.
And you're so Republican.
It's funny. And see, we can have podcasts together without killing each other. It's how America works, you know. It's like.
Right? I might want to reach through and grab your beard, but that's just out of fun anyway.
That's funny. No, I like that though. That's a cool concept that people can politically differ and stuff. So I'm interviewing somebody later that you actually got me interested in about so a porn star got like and you know her like by first name basis when I was like that porn star. I thought you're like, yeah, Lana's a good person or some shit like that. But there's a porn star was apparently working at a Taco Bell and got like basically fired for being a porn star. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's fast food. So according to Lana, who's been, I've known her for quite some time. She's been a union member for a while. Our union, the Adult Performance Artists Guild. And so she told me last week what had happened. And this isn't the first time that a performer, whether she's a cam artist or just on OnlyFans, has come to us to tell us that, you know, they've been let go because of their background. And, you know, we saw it with the medic out of New York. We saw AOC speaking out for her that sex work is work. When you get fired from Taco Bell, like, where else can you go at that point? So many people tell us, get a real job, sex work is trash, you know, that's their opinion. And so it's like, wow, if you're going to get fired from Taco Bell, there really is no place for us to go once we leave this work, if we ever leave. And it's why we don't leave, because nobody wants to be fucking humiliated by people at Taco Bell for being, you know, a porn star. It just was mind-blowing. So,
no, it is insane.
Marlo Stern from The Daily Beast is absolutely amazing. And I go to him quite often when there's stories like this that maybe other people would say no to. And he gives us a voice and a platform. And as I expected, it went viral for her, which was amazing. It just shows the amount of support and all the people coming out saying, I'm not going to eat at Taco Bell. All these people that said they already didn't eat at Taco Bell and, and now they have more of a reason. But the outcry of support for her was amazing.
I had Taco Bell earlier, but it had nothing to do with her. I just wanted fucking Taco Bell. Like, it had nothing. It was just a decision I made. Like, it had nothing to do with. I had like Supreme tacos earlier.
Oh yeah, Supreme tacos. Is that with the what is that, sour cream?
Yeah, that's the step up. Yeah, that's the level up of sour cream.
But they're bigger too. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Taco Bell. I am that California white girl that give it to me. But yeah, that just made it easier for my diet to be like, no more nacho cheese sauce.
That's crazy. Like people getting fired for anything like that. I could almost see if you're like a mascot for like a children's bookstore or fucking like maybe even though like I'm even against that. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know if you're like it's just insane to fire somebody for like anything like that. Like it's like, I don't know, it's like a bad musician not getting hired because like their music sucks. Like Fred Durst not being able to get a job because everybody hates Limp Bizkit or something. You know, it's just dumb kind of.
Nickelback would never move forward in life if that was the case, man. See, I made you choke.
I was trying to take water while the camera's on you. And I was like,
oh, sorry. Yeah, you know, we've seen a lot of examples. Like, I've never had the experience of being let go or fired per se. I've had many opportunities squashed with even some, you know, network television where they just decided, you know what, we're not going to have her on this show because of her porn background. I mean, I've experienced it from people like the doctors who all of a sudden changed their mind about having us on, about Instagram fights. And For me, it was always personal, like schools. I was banned from my kids' elementary school for 6 months at one point when people started talking about the fact that I was in porn. I mean, imagine not being able to go see your kid in a recital because they're talking about your cleavage. It is just insane.
Yeah, it's like it brings up the question, like, how do they know you're in porn?
Oh,
Like,
everybody talks.
I just mean like how they like that. They're almost telling on themselves though. You know, what I mean? They're like, I saw you in porn, and like even they're like telling on themselves almost. Like it's kind of, you know what I mean? And like so
Yeah,
everyone's
the
just projecting
best.
all the time. They want to make you feel bad for what they feel guilty for potentially. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's them projecting their own embarrassment and shame for watching porn, and it makes them feel like they have to deal with us as humans, which is something that is difficult for a lot of people to see or say. They want to just keep us in their TV, wear their dirty little secret, and then the minute that they have to be reminded on a regular basis that that's what they do, it totally affects them. I mean, my best story of a parent coming to me and saying, I saw you in Gangbang Girl 27 was a dad at it was years ago. My kids are all grown. The two boys are about to graduate college. It was 20 years ago. A dad comes up to me who is a major Hollywood actor. We were living in Westwood at the time, which is near like UCLA and all that. And he at that point was just kind of breaking through. And we see him at the park and the kids are playing. And he comes over to me and he goes, I got to tell you, I've seen some of your work. And I probably turned red and said to him, oh yeah. And he's like, and it was the most extreme video, not, sleepover party 25. It's the gangbang movie, which is like 12 dudes and me and another girl at a funeral. It was the most gnarly, totally.
That's crazy.
Totally. Like my husband at the time is literally the body in the coffin, right? So it was gnarly. And he was so proud. And he's like, yeah, it was cool. And I'm thinking, this might not be so bad. So a lot of the times people are really awesome about it. And then you get the others that are just so much shame.
It's like a new frontier of fame in America. I think. I think Japan's always kind of considered fame, but I think like it's like they're like finally seeing how many numbers like porn stars have like millions of views and stuff. You know what I mean like that's like more than like all these people pretending to be rappers we know and like you know what I mean like it's like you guys are killing it though and like it's a new level of fame and nobody knows how to deal with it yet and that's why people are probably rude because they're insecure. They're probably just like they're probably just like completely insecure, don't know how to do anything with.
Yeah. That's tough. It's a lot of self issues, as I mentioned before, and they're just projecting. And it is the newfound fame. You have people that are mainstream stars. If they want to kick it up a notch, they release a sex tape or they open an OnlyFans, and all of a sudden, their name is everywhere. So I love it. I think that more people should be happier and more comfortable with any type of sex work. But it's how we just have to get them active. They can't just like skim money off the top and be cool with, oh, I'll just dip my toe in it. We need them to help the rest of us elevate us to a place where it is legal everywhere. Because I think that's what Lana's story showed, that sex work, posting on OnlyFans, any type of actual adult content isn't legal in Arkansas. And that's where it really falls under that. We need decriminalization umbrella, which is kind of the first time we've ever been able to really marry the full service sex work industry and performers that are in film, simply because we're all criminalized there. So.
Yeah, no, I feel a similar thing to just being Republican. Like, I think people hate me just for being Republican. I feel like a similar thing. I feel like they're like, he loves God and his country. He must be racist. It's like the same concept. Like, it's just like Bill. You know what I mean? It's projections. Like, people just insult you however they are.
Well, you are Republican, man.
they hate you. They're like, oh, I must hate this person or something. Yeah.
Right. I totally understand that. And I look at it as the other side is that so many people have had to deal with it. If we have to take a little bit of it now, I'm okay with it. I accept it. And I'm not a Republican.
Yeah, it'd be worse if you're a porn star and a Republican. You wouldn't be able to eat anywhere. You'd be banned from every Applebee's.
Yeah, you're like number 5 on Pornhub at that point. So that blows my mind. But then it doesn't, because, they have to have one person carrying their torch, I guess. And so she's going to get all of those crazy fans, not that you're all crazy, running behind her because they feel like they have a leader.
Yeah, it was
I
like
don't
that.
know.
It was like Kendra Sutherland with that like Oregon State thing, like the Oregon State thing, like she like blew up from that. It's the same kind of
Yeah.
it's the same kind of buzz though, I think.
Well, I guess blowing up for masturbating in a library is cool.
Just like Elvis. That's how
Right?
Elvis
I
was the
would
fame.
watch that though. I would pay for that.
That's funny. I think F. Scott Fitzgerald rose to fame from masturbating in public. I think could you imagine like Beethoven? You imagine if like this is what people did to be famous like in the 1800s? Like this has been happening forever, so just now.
I think those people were just considered like the town drunk.
Like yeah, I guess it did happen. Then they're just like ostracized. I think it's
Right.
just so many people watch porn now. I think that's the next step. OnlyFans is only the natural progression of like everybody watching porn. Like,
Right.
I think that would be like the natural progression. Yeah, and I knew it was close to getting monetized too. I see OnlyFans at the beginning of monetization, and like Pornhub is getting there too. Finally, I mean, there's still
Yeah.
money in it, but like I think there's gonna be way more money in it, like where it was in like the '90s and shit, and like the '70s and shit. I think there's gonna be like it's going back to that. I think most entertainment is for some reason. Like I see it inching towards monetization.
Oh, absolutely. I think because, you guys have had the wild, wild west for so long with free access to anything and everything that you wanted, that, our right to porn really is under attack by so many organizations right now, and they call themselves abolitionists. So it's not just about keeping people safe, it's literally to rid the world of all sexually exploitive contact. And man, I couldn't imagine, regardless of the fact of performing in adult material, I watched porn before I came to the business and I loved it. So I couldn't imagine not being able to have access to that material. Am I okay with people having to pay for it? Sure. However, it's as long as that whole obscenity layer, it's still protected by free speech. So I don't really see where they can force you to have to pay or have to sell what it is that you're producing. And at that point, you're putting limitations on the artist. So I get having to have proof that everybody's over 18, but forcing the monetization, I don't think that they're going to get too far with that, because it's going to end up back in front of the Supreme Court, which is scary though, because it's very leaning towards you guys. But
I don't.
hopefully Republicans appreciate their porn.
No, I think Republicans like porn stars, but I think like the Supreme Court's they're acting like different. They're not acting too Republican. They didn't back Trump or anything. So I don't know what they are. They just seem like random people that they put in there last minute. Like I'm just like, who the fuck are these people? Like really, I mean, I know their history a little bit, but it's like that's a huge decision to throw somebody in the Supreme Court. I don't know. They're lifelong people.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, they talk about wanting to stack it so that there are more people. But then at that point, I think you get too many chefs in the kitchen, and then it just becomes all messy. So
That's crazy. Everyone's just yelling at each other all the time about everything. It's like crazy. Like just on the internet and in real life, everyone's just like crazy. Like I like baiting people with it, but like I don't really get. I mean I don't know. I don't like. I still respect everybody's opinion. I think like even if they're wrong.
I think it's crazy that all the fighting in public now is all over masks. Like, I don't get into fights with people. I'm usually pretty calm and level-headed. And even I got into an argument with a woman at Costco over wearing a mask. And it's just like, it's really not that difficult.
That's funny. We all become Karens eventually. Like we all. Like,
I've
we all,
been called Karen, and
we
I'm
all
the farthest thing from Karen, but it's really funny when other like white men call me Karen, and we're having an argument that has nothing to do with about anything that is Karen related.
yeah. No, it's an easy
Whatever.
insult. They limited most of our words, so we have to use people's names as insults now. They're like they're like you can't say this word, 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 this word. So like now we're just like, oh okay, Tyler. We're still making fun. That's all we got anymore. Like it's all like we used to have. I don't know. We had free speech briefly, maybe. I heard about it.
Right.
I
I
heard
heard
about it.
about it too. I lived it for a little while. Now I don't know what it is, and I have to have conversations with people in the way of like being mom and keeping them out of trouble or at least trying to guide them in the right direction of, okay, we probably shouldn't post that on Instagram because I know it's going to violate, and I really want you to be able to keep your page. And that I can't help though. Like that, ooh, I'm sorry. And it makes me feel so shitty inside because I don't want to have to tell people what they can and can't do, you know? I don't want to be mom. Why can't I be the drunk mom on the couch, damn it?
No, yeah, there's a lot of, like, in being responsible, there's a lot of like downtime.
Adulting sucks so bad.
Yeah. No, I agree. How many kids do you have? That's not too personal, or whatever, for people watching. I just don't know, like, what's, like, you know.
Right? What's the quota?
Yeah.
I wanted to have a whole bunch more, but I had 3 in the sense of one's mine that I physically shot out, and then the other 2 were my stepkids. But they were so young when I came into their life that I helped raise them, and now they're all like crazy adults and stuff, which is really fun navigating it, and you see how much they're like you.
That's awesome.
People ask, well, what would you do if your, kid got into the adult industry? And I'm like, well, first of all, I got into the industry so that I could give my kids more guidance and a better existence and get them to a college education so that they didn't have to work in the adult industry. But if that was something that my kid wanted to do, understanding all of the options, I wouldn't stand in their way. I wouldn't be around in the sense of like, we're not going to work, we're not going to set, and then I'd have to block all the material the same way they do. But, I think it's all just about being supportive.
It'd be funny if you're like an Asian family where you're like, you better get into porn. You're no doctor. You're no lawyer. It's like, you don't have dreams. You better follow the family tradition.
Yes. There's a legacy, damn it.
That'd be funnier. No, you had a more responsible and like real world answer. No, I think that's good though. This shit you have to think about that people don't like think about it, I think personally. It's like people have to think about a lot of different aspects of it and stuff like.
And it's a decision that once you make it, it's made forever. When I started porn, the internet did not exist to that capacity. It was still dial up. I can hear still the sound in the background of accessing, and you couldn't actually like look at porn because it would take 15 minutes for one picture to load. And
yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, watching video on it didn't exist. So we had more anonymity to it where you had to be the creepy chick, because I've been that, to go to the porn store and rent, dirty debutantes number 152 or whatever it is. And now, man, it's accessible with, well, first of all, that very day, whether it's live streamed or it's instant post. I got in trouble because I was hanging out. I was seeing this guy and we were going to meet for the first time online, or not online, but in person, after talking for like 2 months. And I fly to London 3 days after I had shot a scene for Reality Kings with Mike Adriano and my dumbass. We're filming next to the Hollywood sign. So I take this picture of myself and I'm topless and there's the Hollywood sign behind me and it is amazing. And I send it to the guy. Hey, look, I'm doing this today, but I'm not, taking any D. I'm in London. It's been 3 days since the shoot. I'm getting ready to go home. I get an email on the plane that says, oh, my family sent me your scene. And he knew because pictures from my pretty girls who were the damn Hollywood sign and all was so busted. Normally that would have taken 6 months to catch up.
That's crazy to think about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, totally. Guys have a hard time with that.
Well, because they want to be the only person that's ever had sex with a girl somehow. They were like, like that's like instinctually what it is. It's like I'm the only dude that's ever had sex with this girl, and you don't even want to think about, even like in relationships. I don't want to think about like girls or guys my girlfriend's been with prior. I don't want to think about that shit. But I'm not retarded though. I know it's existed. Whatever word I'm supposed to say instead of retarded. But
thank God for cuckolds. They do very well in that community. No, the relationship that I'm in now is actually the first one that I've ever been in that's been monogamous, because I stopped filming hardcore and we shoot stuff together now and I upload that, and so I've literally become that girl that only works with her boyfriend, which is comedy to me. And it's only because of COVID.
That's what I was thinking that when you said you weren't doing porn at first. Like, you're like, I'm not doing, I'm like, yeah, because COVID. And then you're like, no, no. And then I get involved and it made more sense. Like, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I find ways to make it politically correct always.
That's funny. That's crazy. Like, no, I imagine dating in your field would be way harder than most fields probably. Just because like every dude probably is drawn to it at first, and then they're like thrown off by it after. Like, wait a sec, like the same reasons they're drawn to you, they end up hating it later. Like almost, it seems like anyway. I don't know anything about. I've never.
No, absolutely right. And
It seems like-
you get both sides. You get the ones that just want to hook up with you because you were that fantasy that they've had. I get the ones that want to date, and most of the time they're okay with it, whatever it is in their brain that allows them to accept it. The ones that are the ones that really, they just piss me off are like, I'm totally okay with a dude telling me when we meet, oh yeah, I've watched your movies. I kind of enjoy it because it means that that's all handled. You know what you're getting.
That's a good
You've
point.
seen me in action, right? There's not going to be any weird judgment. But then, they I don't watch your movies. No, I don't really know who you are. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. And then in the shower after we bang, it's actually, I'm a really big fan. And then just like, what? Okay, now it's creepy. Now I feel like kind of violated-ish.
They try to play it cool and brag to you afterwards. They're like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about anything. And then like afterwards, like, yeah. It's hilarious.
I watched you all through high school, and I'm thinking you're lucky that you're really hot and ripped and 25. I can accept that.
Like, I've been outside your house for months. It's like,
yeah, we've had that happen. Not like in that sense. Usually there was something, wrong with the person that was sitting outside of my house. But I have had to deal with that. I've had to switch grocery stores and stuff like that because people would get weird and follow me around the store, want to hug me. Normally I'm really approachable, but I'm not trying to hug you.
It's like some dude that's like masturbated to you like 4 times that week.
Just left the bathroom.
Yeah, that's such a funny concept. Like that, just like that's a crazy concept. That's like a connection. Like, I mean, kind of. It's a weird. They feel at least probably. That's like crazy. Like psychologically, it's probably a connection for them. And then you wouldn't even know these people exist until they meet them. I mean, they're like watching a scene you shot like fucking like I don't know, a week to 5 years ago, whatever the fucking time frame is. It's like and like not even. That's interesting to think about. Like what that does. I wonder what that is psychologically like towards society. I have no idea. It'd be interesting to look into that almost.
I've had gentlemen that followed my career or watched my scenes more than others, and they do feel sometimes an emotional attachment. It's kind of like when you binge watch Shameless and you feel totally connected to the family and you're just like, no, Lip, what are you doing? And damn it, I'm really pissed off at Debbie this week.
Yeah.
It's the same thing where they're living vicariously through you and they know so much about you that they do feel this connection. And sometimes that's really, really cool. I myself have fangirled out on some of my favorite celebrities and been that sweaty girl and had no words with Manu Bennett and just, you want to pounce and you can't.
What famous person made you starstruck? Like, what are some of the famous people?
He's Crixus from Spartacus. His name is Manu Bennett. He's Australian. He's absolutely beautiful. I totally, oh man. So basically all my friends knew that I was obsessed with this guy, and I go to comic books conventions all the time. I'm a huge, like nerd into video games and not so much the comic side of it, but I like the stories. And so that show was my porn. I loved him. I slept with the guy repeatedly because he looked like this man. So one of my girlfriends walks up to the booth that we're all volunteering at, and she's like, oh my God, I just met, so-and-so. But she called him by another character name because he was also on Arrow. So I don't catch that because I didn't watch that show. I wasn't a big, CW fan or whatever it was. And my buddy who knows looks at me and he goes, you don't know who she's talking about, do you? And I'm like, And he says it, he leads in and he goes, Crixus. And I just, and so I go, where? Take me now. Well, we run because it's Comic-Con's huge. So it's probably about like 6 or 7 huge aisles away. And so by the time we get there, I'm like, oh my God, there he is, there he is, there he is. And I'm wearing this Zelda t-shirt, right? And I put Tanner on earlier in the day. I was doing a hustler shoot that night. So I head back. Fuck, I forgot my purse. I can't get a picture. I'll be right back. I go running. I go get my purse. I go running back. Oh my God, my wallet's in my camera bag. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. I run back again. I get my wallet. By the time I get back, I'm soaked in sweat. I got Tanner all over my shirt. I have no idea. And I just play this, you know, it's the selfie time. And we're looking at each other. We're smiling. And I go, be careful which way you swipe because there's porn in there. Totally flirting with this man. And he's enduring it. And we take our pictures. And then I realized that there are lines of Tanner all down my shirt. I was sweaty, I was gross, and I looked dirty. I didn't wash that shirt for like 3 years.
That's funny.
Yeah, I still watch everything that he's in, but now we have Instagram, right? So I follow him there and I watch his live clips, and he's all like grown out for some Viking show he was walking on. See, I'm getting more. I'm just talking about it. See, so I like the beard. I don't mind it. But there's just this. I want to just pull it.
Instincts. It's instincts.
Instinctual, absolutely.
It's funny. You make me want to get this guy just to embarrass you now. Like almost on Zoom. Like, yeah, like, maybe you want to find this guy and like get him on Zoom. So you'd probably blush the entire. It'd be funny to me. I don't know why, but cool at the same time.
So that night at dinner, everyone from the booth, we go eat at like Buca de Beppo, right? It's family style. And at our booth, we had a ton of, you know, mainstream actors that are voice actors. So a guy named Vic Mignogna, Vic does a, he does several characters. One of them is really big, Full Metal Alchemist. He is the main character in Full Metal Alchemist. And so he calls me anew. I'm telling everybody my story. I'm laughing. He calls him from the table. I'm talking to this girl right now, and she's all flushed about you. And I'm just like, you know what? You're really embarrassing me right now. But can you give him my number? Then I got cock-blocked. That never happened. So guy's married. I would never want to bother his marriage.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about is like seeing people on TV and stuff. Is that like you never know about their private lives or anything like that. You never know who's just like who's like got married and like living this like thing or like on a ranch or some shit, or who's just like not. You never know anything about it. So everyone's got like their own persona. Yeah, it's interesting to think about actually.
Yeah, and then you're like ruining somebody's family, and it's on TMZ, and you feel bad, but you're cashing all the paychecks.
That's funny. I feel like that's happened before. It sounds like an experience.
I am the reason why everybody knew about Trump and Stormy.
Oh, really?
Well, because I was in Tahoe and Stormy invited me. And it was just this whole crazy experience. And I'm going to be honest with you, you know, back then it was Trump Apprentice Trump. And, you know, I used to watch him on like Lifestyles of Rich and Famous with Robin Leach and shit. So
yeah.
It was just, I'm that girl that I don't get involved in romantic interludes with very powerful men, because if God forbid something happens to us, you know, my body's going to end up floating in a river. Like, that's how I've been trained. So I stay away from all that stuff. So when she was calling me, finally they called me together. And there was just something about her and him on the phone saying, Alana, come party with us. Come on, let's have some fun. And I'm just like, okay, sure, I'll be right there. And I turned my phone off, didn't surface till the next morning because I was just not I wasn't getting in the middle of that. And hindsight, you know, it would have been a way better story had I gone.
No, I think your instincts keep you alive. I mean, I wouldn't get in a situation with like somebody that has their own bodyguards and all that shit. I mean, the president's a very powerful person, let alone be a billionaire. Oh, you said it was yeah, it's crazy. I wouldn't even. I
mean, Chandra Levy, Monica Lewinsky, even Marilyn Monroe. No way.
She's ended up dead, like overdose, like some random shit. Like that was murder for sure, probably.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Totally. And you know, I mean, if Obama called I would have to ask Michelle for permission. And I'm not saying that there aren't, celebrity men that I've been with. I just, yeah, I keep it to myself out of respect for them, out of liking my life and staying alive. And I didn't want to be that girl to tell on people because that's not why we were together. I'm not a fame chaser like that. So
Then all the energy you create comes back, like no matter what.
yes.
So you rather just have good energy, honestly, outwards, because like then you get it back. It's like I don't know. In my 20s, I spent too much being like selfish and stupid, and I think I learned that lesson. like just not with that feel, but just being shitty outward. It's like I think it's just like you only get it. You just live a terrible life. Really, it's weird.
Right. And you learn through the experiences too. We all get there. I was an obnoxious kid in my 20s. Like I see videos of myself and I'm thinking, oh my God, what is wrong with me? And it literally calms me down so that when I deal with other people that are young, that are behaving that way, I remind myself that, you did a lot of that shit too. So just have patience.
Oh yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, that's very true. I feel like that's
Yeah.
how like 80-year-olds look at me. Like they're just like, oh, I've been there. Like it's like they're just like I don't know. They already did all the fun stuff, and they're what I mean, it's like they already did all that shit.
If they can remember it.
Yeah, yeah, fair.
Already like people will tell me something and I'm going, it pics or it did not happen.
That's hilarious. Well, before we talk for 9 more hours, you want to throw on any social media or anything before we get on here? Like,
Yeah.
where
I'm
people should follow you at?
on Twitter, Alana Evans XXX, and of course there are the links to all the good stuff. So I'm really active there too. And of course Instagram is the same. My handles are like Alana Evans with XXX at the end of it everywhere. And sometimes I'm like, damn, I should have just taken Alana Evans. When I started my Parlor account just to like be on there, there were no X's added, and I went, people aren't going to think this is me.
Rest in peace, Parlor.
Right, poor Parlor, poor Parlor.
Well, yeah,
That's what happens.
look up Alana. Google her. Add her on social media. I'll put some links in the description for like where you can find her on social media and stuff. And start this episode over again and watch it. Watch it twice, maybe 3 times, like until you really absorb everything that we said.